So I'll go section by section explaining how a particular task can be done on the platform. If you have any questions, just post in the chat and we'll try to answer those questions on on the while. But if there are more detailed discussion, like we can like maybe schedule some other time and then go through your detailed set of queries. The idea is, as you see this platform, this should come across as enabler and a better improvement of the on the current processes, bringing more transparency and basically optimize this whole process of submission. So I'm just going to share my screen. Just let me know once this is visible. It should be visible anytime soon.
Yes, it's visible.
Great. So the platform that we have built for you, it's called Flow AI. And as the name suggests, we want to keep the operation streamlined and running. So that's where the flow comes in. And this platform brings in a lot of intelligence. So it's a combination of intelligence and like the continuous operation workflow that we have created. So that's how the Flow AI comes in. Each of you will get a unique login to the platform. So all the partners will get their dedicated portal. And so as you log into the platform, you will get a dedicated platform for you and your team members can actually log in via this platform. On the left hand side, it's the normal sign in screen. The right hand side is basically like where we are customizing and promoting about new scholarship announcement, any kind of event which is happening. So right from the start, you start getting some value from the platform. Just logging into this platform up here. So the very first thing that platform welcomes you is with a lot of data and insights around what's really happening around the application which you have submitted to us and where they are. So the very first thing that you see on the dashboard is some broad numbers. It tells you about your total number of students which are in the platform, how many of them are actual applicants. So basically the students who have added at least one application, it's called an applicant, then the total number of applications. And now you don't have to reach out to us to ask a specific status of an application. This platform real-time syncs from the backend CRM and then updates around a particular application. So this is a demo instance that's why you're seeing these numbers as blank. But in your instance, as your application move through the stages, you can easily see that how many of them are in a added stage, how many are in the processing, how many of these applications are running financial compliances, at what stage your particular application in, so that it can kind of help you in a better pipeline management. You can filter this data based on a specific time range. For example, if you want to run this pipeline analysis just for January or maybe January to March, you can pick up those date, a specific set of university or all application, you can do that. If you're looking at a particular intake like Feb intake, what's really happening around my application space, you can get this information. So this is the first item that we welcome you on the dashboard with. The second thing is your key contact people. So you'll see your success partners and basically the first and the second line support managers information up here. So if a new person is joining in your team, this is one of the section. It's quite helpful so that you can know who are going to support you in the case of any platform or outside the platform, any kind of services need. So if you click on this email, it will just open up your Outlook. So you can start typing in the email from there. And if you click on this number, it will open up your WhatsApp web chat. So you can right away write a message which directly goes to your success partner. As we move below the platform, we also have got some services. Now, some of you might have already been in a partner relation so that for availing these services, but we also bring in a lot of interesting services that your students can avail, which is more around the tuition fee payment, accommodation, pre-travel assistance, visa assistance. All those services can also be accessed from here. This page is what we call as a dashboard, right? So anytime you have any challenge around this page or any kind of fallacy or information needs to be updated, this is what you need to refer to. Like, hey, I'm on dashboard and I'm trying to look at particular this information and this is correct, or is there a way we can bring more information on the dashboard? Then that's a discussion we can go into. This whole area is called as a side navigation. So here we keep your quick links, like the important section which you would need day in, day out. The top level, this is the top navigation where you have a search, which I'll focus probably more towards the end of the session once you have seen everything. Then the Flow AI bot, which sits in the platform and answers your query as if you're talking to a counselor in the platform. If you have certain queries around universities, program, you want to do a comparison, you want to see some stats, interesting fact, you can use this section, which again, I'll spend some time at the end of this demo. And then you have got certain settings, which is sitting at the top right corner. So this platform has got two set of users. The first one is a counselor account, which is primarily around adding students on this platform, then putting in an application and tracking the application conversion, which is more like the entire daily life cycle of a counselor where you meet with student parents, you get their details, put in their preferences, and then finally add an application for that student. The second access is basically the admin access, the one who controls this platform, like who are the valid user, what kind of application flow in total is happening for my agency, then how many counselors are typically logging in, what is the kind of like the pipeline for each of the counselor, what is the conversion rate. So those kind of actions are typically done by admin. I For this demo I have logged in with an admin account, so I'll basically you will see everything. If you are logging in with a counselor account, you will see some of these sections hidden. For example, the configuration, people, these sections will be hidden because these don't apply for a counselor. Yeah. So before I move into the very first section, which is how you add users to this platform, I'll just take a minute of a pause and see if there are any questions.
No questions as of now. Can't see
Perfect.
anything on the Q&A section.
Got it. Okay. So the very first thing which you would want to do is, okay, we have got the platform from Kaiser and we have got one admin account with which we can test this platform. What ideally should happen? So you want to bring your team onto the platform so that they can start working on their students, make some applications, submit it to Kaiser and see how they convert. So an admin user can go here and click on this people, which is showing them the team that they want to bring on the platform. This is the data for this platform. It shows that who all are there on the platform, what is their role. So if you see here, like we have got majority of test users added as an admin, and then there is a counselor. So you can see who your user are. So you see the counselors, you see admin here. Then if you have allocated or like there are certain student tagged with these users, you can easily see that when they last logged in, when they were added in, it shows you the information up here. Adding a new person is quite easy. So you click on this add people and click on staff. It opens up this small form, which simply asks for the details, your first name, last name, nationality, the gender, primary contact information, role and title, which is important that you want to add this user as an admin or a counselor, right? If you add a user as admin, they can also take actions on other admin into the platform. So use this user role quite effectively, like only to the person who really should manage the team or the staff. Otherwise, the counselor is good enough for submitting an application. So maybe you can try adding a user with a counselor access and see what they are doing. If needed, you can promote them to admin, but keep this admin access a bit restricted. Right. And then you can add in some basic details like working hours, what are the preferred time zone when they work in. So this data kind of help us in making sure, like as we look at responding to you whenever there is a query, we know that what time zones you work in and what are the preferable mode in which you can reach out. So once you fill in this information, just hit this save and add, and that's how your user gets added. Right. So once you add in a user, they will start appearing here in this section. Whenever a user is created on the platform by adding those few fields, they receive an email which says that, hey, welcome to Flow AI. Click on this link to access the platform. When they click on the link, it asks them to set a password, which is a typical user flow that we- let's set your password, and once they set their password, they can log into the platform. Many a time we have seen that because the counselor receives a lot of email, lot of promotion and spam emails also land in their mailbox. The login emails gets like kind of mixed up between the overall set of the emails that they have received. So sending out another email is also quite easy. For example, if I just want to send out an email to Vivek, so I just click on this checkbox and I simply say send registration email. This is again going to send them a unique link. They can set their password and come to the platform. A lot of time happen that people from the current team moves out to a different role or a different organization, and it's very important that we deactivate their account from this platform. Now this platform is not linked to your mailboxes or your systems directly. That means the user, if they leave your organization and you have not deactivated them from this platform, can still come in and log in, because there is no way for us to know that if a person is with the organization with the current role or they have moved on. So, for example, Aditya is no longer with your organization, just deactivate them. And you can do for multiple user at once. So if these five folks have moved out or they are not in the process, just go ahead and deactivate them. Suppose Vivek resumes, you can just come back and reactivate them again, right? This is how easily you can add people to this particular platform and they can start coming and using this section, right? So this is around the staff management. Now, the next logical thing is that you have added people who want to submit application, your counseling team. The next thing is that, okay, I have got a parent or I've received a lead for a student and I want to submit an application for that student. How I can do that? So that's where you come to the second stage, which is students. Again, remember, I've logged in as an admin here, so I can see everything. The counselor get to see their view only, which you'll see up here. So when you hit students, it brings all the students in this platform which are added for submitting an application, right? So 43 means that there are total 43 students who are added to this platform. Now, because I am an admin, I can see all the students. If there is just a counselor logging to the platform, they will see only their students which they have added or they are tagged with. So, for example, if Vivek is a counselor and he logs into the platform and Vivek has added five students, so this view will only show five students, right? That's the second difference. An admin can see everything, but a counselor can only see their students, their pipeline that they're working on. So there is like information, like abstraction that we have done on this platform. So by default, you see everyone here. You can search a student by the name. For example, if I just want to look at a particular student called Somya, I can just use their name. Or if there are multiple Somya, I can use their email so that I know which student it is added. You can filter out these students by different category. So applying school is basically college they are applying to. I'm an admin, so I can filter out the students by the counselor who are working on this student, by their grades. Are they applying for a UG or a PG program? What is their graduation year? If they have listed certain colleges, right? And then you can add a student quite easily, which is like add a student, a small form open up that you put in your the student's name, email, mobile number. Think I'm a admin here, so I can pick that, okay, assign this student to one of these counselors who are on the platform. If not, it will be coming as an unassigned stage that there is no counselor added here. So this is how easily you can add a student. We understand that there's a lot of work which a counselor need to do with the student. Like once they start discussing with the student around their preferences, their budget, their preferred location, there's a lot of information which a student provides to the counselor. There are a lot of documents which a student provides to the counselor, and then there's a manual activity in which you collate, put it inside your system, then share those with us when you're putting in an application. So we have kind of expanded the scope of this platform not just to the your internal team, but also to the students. Now, what that means is if you want to invite a parent or a student to use this platform for putting in the data, adding in the preferences, adding in the documents, you can do that. So, for example, Soumya, who is added into this platform for a PG application, you want to invite Soumya for using this platform that, hey, Soumya, we have created an access for you on the platform. Log into this platform and fill in the details, put in the documents, and that's where we can start having the conversation so that you manually don't have to spend time collating all the documents in a repository and then link it with Soumya. Maybe you want to do a review and let Soumya or the parents basically do the first level data update, which is again a very manual activity. You can do that from this platform, right? So this small icon that you see here, if you click on it, this kind of open up the Soumya's profile, and just below here, this is a link which is similar to what you saw for counselor, that is send registration email. When you click on the send registration email, Soumya receives a unique link and then they can log into this platform for updating the information. Now, this is completely optional. If you don't want the student or parents to log into the platform, you don't send them the registration email. If you want them to log in, just click on this registration email here. There are cases when the student access to a student is given that, okay, hey, this is the login link, you can come to the platform, start using it, but that student wishes to maybe work with some other agent, or by for some reason they don't continue, stop responding, so you can just deactivate them from here, just like what you do for your staff. The same thing you can do with your student. If your student is non-responsive or you simply want to revoke their access so that they can't use this platform, just click on this deactivate. Right. Now, a student who logs into this platform can update profile, can manage universities, which I'll show you how that section looks like. But this is how you can add in the students on the platform. So I'll again take a pause for a minute uh, around the staff edition, around the student edition on the platform, if there are any questions before I move to the next section.
Only one question right now. This is with respect to assigning counselors and reassigning counselors for the students.
Mhm.
Whether we can do it, and if so, how to do it.
Yeah, so it's quite easy. Uh, you can just go ahead and assign a counselor from here. When you are adding a particular student, that, okay, hey, I want to go ahead and add a counselor, you can easily do that. Now, if a counselor by themselves are adding a student, you don't need to do this. They are basically auto assigned. So if a counselor logs into this platform and they add a student, they won't see this option. So if Rajat is a counselor and I create a student, automatically that student is going to be tagged with me. So there is no way that you have to spend time in reassigning the counselor to a particular student. Otherwise, if it's needed, you can easily do it from here.
Got it. And the other thing which has come up is on this email thing with adding students' email and then the student getting the email. Some of them have stated, can we please go through that section again?
Yeah. So there are two ways in which you can do that. So if you are quite clear that as a SOP or policy is like bring students as soon as they're added. So when you are adding a student and you fill in the basic details, just hit this checkbox, which is send registration email, and hit on this save. As soon as you save this student, they automatically receive an email and then they can log into the platform. Now, how that login looks like, I'll show you in a couple of minutes. But they automatically receive an email and you don't have to do another manual work of sending them email. In case your SOPs are more around you selectively bring students. Let's say you say that UG students are not that experienced and they make a error and I have to do a lot of correction. But the PG students are basically like the ones who know how to use these platforms and updating the information. So either you can do it while adding a student, or Just next to student, there is small eye icon, which is more like a quick glimpse into their details and summary. Here also, you can just send them a registration email. So whenever you see this site pop up open, that's where your registration email link is, and always at the bottom, so that there is no accidental clicking up on this link on the top. So just send them registration email, and then they can log into the platform. Okay. So in interest of time, I'll move ahead, but you can just keep adding questions and we'll address it as we move through. The next part is that, okay, I've got my people in, I've got my student in. Now let me discover some universities to which these students can go ahead and apply. So there's a section called universities, and this is a quite a interesting and a beautiful section for you all, because we have kind of made all the universities and partners enabled in this platform. And that means you don't have to manually go ahead and search for these universities outside on their website and try to discover some information. So all the universities that we support the applications, you'll be able to see those information in right here. For example, Uni Melbourne, what's their QS ranking, if there are application deadlines. In some of the universities, they publish the acceptance rate, so you can easily see which are easy universities to get in, a bit glimpse around courses. You can search a university by name. So if you search for Monash, it automatically brings the Monash University up here. You can search by a course or major, that if you're looking for engineering, you're looking for management, it automatically brings up the search up here. So it becomes quite handy when you are driving the discussions with parents and students that, hey, this is the overall ecosystem. The other part is that there are some discussion which are more from the interest that, okay, I want to travel to Australia and I want to pursue a maybe a career in culinary sciences, or maybe in management or law, architecture, engineering, data science, right? Where a student or a parent is quite keen that, okay, I want a specific career and I'm not fixated on a university. So you can go to the second tab called courses, and this is where you see all the courses which are there in the university. So one university can have multiple courses. So these are all the courses. So this is like 6,500 plus courses that you can search from. And then similar to what I was explaining previously, you can search by name, you can search by categories. Like if you're looking for health services, business admin, legal. So all the courses can be displayed up here. If you have a certain preference of university, like show me medical from Uni Sydney, you can also do those combination. And then there is a duration also, like you're looking for a short-term program, long-term program, like a multi-year dual degree program, you can do those filters up here. When you're looking at a particular university or a course, the next thing is that, okay, you say that Uni Melbourne is very interesting university and it's quite popular. It's ranked 19 in the world. So it's a top university to go if you're looking for a study in Australia. I still have a lot of questions that, okay, how Uni Melbourne looks like, because I've never been to Australia, and like how is the campus? What are the some stats? What are the programs that this university provides? So conventionally, what usually we do is we open up the website for Uni Melbourne, and it's like a encyclopedia, and you go in into one of the sections, go in detail, or maybe you right now open up a digital prospectus and show that PDF to the students. Let's make something better out of it, right? So Uni Melbourne has got their dedicated profile on the platform. And what that means is you don't have to rely on their website or digital prospectus as PDF that you want to run the parents through, which is like very least interesting or a boring activity that you have to read through those 20 pages. Rather than that, you can open up these profiles and quickly show them that, hey, this is how Uni Melbourne looks like. Some of the profiles have a 360 degree tour, some of them have got videos, some of them have just static images just to show them that, okay, this is how the university looks like. And you can obviously go back and come out of it. So this is your digital library about University of Melbourne. So there is some interesting stats that we have given in terms of QS ranking, what is matriculation rate, what's the graduation rate, what are the accreditation, contact information for this university, everything is up here. How our admission process to this university looks like, right? how you can go ahead and apply to this university, if there is a recommendation letter needed, what are the upcoming admission deadlines, a bit around the tuition fee. You'll see a range here because we cover a lot of programs. Some are like quite expensive, some are like bit easy to get in. So you'll see a range here. Then you see all the courses and majors to which this student can go ahead and apply. So you can again search by a particular course by interest. For example, show me all the courses for arts. So it filters for the courses in arts. If you say, show me the courses in law, it will just filter by law. So it kind of drill down your overall search. You can cross these out and see everything up here. And then as you scroll below, like we have some stats around that. Okay, what is the college size, type, city type, accommodation that you can explore in from here. On these courses, if you just click on this course, it takes you to the detailed course profile that talks about the Bachelor of Architecture only. So it's not talking about anything else. It's a very, very focused information piece that you can see a bit around the course information that it's a 3-year program. These are the upcoming intakes. This is the deadline. So here you have to really start prepping up for it. We need to put in your application. This is what the tuition fee look like. So make sure you have the finances in place. An application fee that 150 Australian dollar is basically an application fee that you need to start this application on. A bit on the eligibility criteria that okay, these are the scores. If you have your TOEFL score ready and it is above 81, you can go ahead and apply to this university, right? And in cases like there are quite detailed information around eligibility, we have just put in those links because not everything can be brought in here. So rather than going to Google and then searching Uni Melbourne, then Bachelor of Art, and then landing at this, you can directly open up this URL, right? All the university profiles that you see are maintained by our own in-house team. So we have set up crawlers on the university website. Whenever there is an information update happening on the website, we receive a notification, and within like 24 hours, the information is updated on the platform. In case you find a discrepancy or maybe a course is listed on the website and it's not reflecting, we can get it up in like 2 to 3 hours. So if you just tell us that, hey, I'm looking for a very, very specific course, it's on the website but not reflecting on your platform, our team can get that in. So that cleanup, we have done a lot of testing and data migration so that it matches the university website. But in case of any such scenario, there is a dedicated team who is working on the data that you see here. Right. So this is how you view the applications, view the universities and the specific courses. Now, how you can actually put in an application. So right now, whatever you are seeing here is more from a counselor or admin view, right? When you're talking to a parent, suppose you want to start putting in an application for a student named Tayyip. And why I use this student because I've used this a lot, and there's a lot of data that I can show you in. So now you say that, okay, Tayyab is interested in going through the application process. Let's start adding some application for Tayyab. So the drill is very simple. You go to student, you find your student, and then you click on the student, right? On the name. The page which opens is exactly the page which that student will see if you share the logging link with that student. So if you decide that, hey, let's share the logging link with Tayyab, they also see this page. So whenever you see this yellow box on the top left, that means you are in a student view, right? So it shows them the same things like universities. I'll talk about bookmark and application. And then they have got a dashboard which is more specific for the student. That it starts with a basic AI bot. Like if there is any questions, they can start using it starts with your profile. By default, it is 0. You tell them that, okay, go ahead and complete your profile. So when they click on this button, this profile page opens up that tell me your first name, last name, address, phone number, email, passport details, all the things that you require in the application form to be filled in. You can ask a student to give that beforehand, and it's very helpful if they provide this information because first you don't have to manually fill this information and you just have to come here and review. The second is whenever you are putting in an application, all this data is by default pre-filled because it's coming from the same source. So if there are like 80 fields which you need to fill in, 60 of them are coming directly from the profile which a student has updated. You just have to worry around reviewing those 60 and putting in the data for 20. So it saves a lot of time, and that's the direct feedback that we have got from the partners who are using this platform, right? So I'll come back to home. What additional thing they can see? So for a student, you can show them a lot of interesting video, which again we have curated here. It talks about the themes which students are quite interested in. There is a career library that a student or a parent can explore, that hey, we have built some career pages. For example, if you want to look at quantum algorithm developer, you can just go and read about it. Maybe if you don't want like them to read, but you can open up this career profile and see what kind of activities these, like this career people do, like what in quantum algorithm developer do, what kind of personality fits in for this role, what they should be good at, what kind of knowledge is needed, which university provide this course, what are the similar careers. So if you're looking at quantum algorithm developer, maybe you can look at a data science consultant or a drone fleet manager, which are upcoming careers. So it's quite an interesting resource, not just for student, but for you all also. Like if you just want to use this up here, and then there is a guide that we have built in, that if you want to just share with a parent that, okay, there's a university in Canberra. So this is how it looks like. Study in Canberra, why study, different accommodation option, things you can do there, what's the transportation, what's the safety rating. So we've got a lot of materials that you can readily run with your students and explore this. But I'll come to the application part of it. So we were adding the application for the year. So I'll go to university, right? And I can start adding application for Tayyab right from this page. So the first thing is that, okay, there is a university. I think I've done a lot of application. So let's do it for University of Newcastle. If you know that the student is going to apply to this Newcastle University, the first thing is you can do it right from this page. So you see small add to list, you click on it. It asks you three options, that you want to put this university in long list, short list, or applying list. The difference between all three of them is quite clear, but I'll just explain. Long list is like my wish list, that okay, I can go here and here and here. Then you look at a bit of around eligibility criteria, preferences, and kind of shorten that list. You become shortlist. Applying is the final 4 or 5 universities which you think the student might get admitted to, and then you move it to applying list. So it helps, this platform helps in the application planning also, that you start with a long list, then short list and applying list, so that you don't have these communication on email or spreadsheet that typically gets lost. So if I pick long list, it simply says that it's added in the long list for Tayyab. Similarly, I can move this to short list. Again, this move to the short list. As soon as I pick applying list, it simply asks me that, okay, you are applying to this university, great, but which course you are applying to. So see the difference, that in long list and short list, there was no course selection. But in case of applying list, it asks that, okay, tell me the course that you're interested in. And you just pick the course, for example, Bachelor of Business, and then what kind of intake you're looking for, right? So you can pick up the semester one, semester two, and simply click on add application, right? This will trigger the application creation for Tayyab for Newcastle Bachelor of Business. At any stage, if you just want that, okay, show me everything that I'm working with Tayyab around this application. So there's a section called bookmarks. If you click on it, it very neatly shows you that, hey, this is the overall application thing that we have done for Tayyab. Just ignore the kind of additions here, it's demo. But you see all the long list, you see shortlist, and you also see the applying list from here. This is a page that you can print out, share with students, share over email. If you want to move a university from long list to short list, you can easily drag it from here to here. If you want to move from short list to long list, you can drag from here and here. In case of short list, long list, if just for your reference, you want to add in course and major, though it doesn't really make a difference because it's still on in applying, you can easily do that up here, right? Okay, so this is a bookmark page, and then this is the applications page. where your real application lives. So long list and short list won't come here. Only the applying list come here. So as soon as you start putting an application in applying list, what I was showing you previously, that you pick a university, you move it to applying list, and you pick a course and semester, they start appearing here. When you fill in all the detail for that university, then only we start working on that application. So you'll see two tabs, one in progress, one submitted. Submitted means simply that we have received an application from you and we should work on it. In progress means the application is still with you because you are yet to fill in the complete details. There are some documents which you are expecting. Any application in which is in progress, we will not see that. We will not be able to work on those applications. We work only on application which are submitted here. And submitting an application is quite easy. You hit on this complete application. It shows you the application form that you need to fill in, and each of this section needs to be a green tick in order to submit. So if you see, like, all the data that you see here for the year, I automatically got that data because it was there in profile, so that I don't have to fill in this information. Maybe I select this title, and for next time this title is also saved, so it won't be asking for this detail again. So it asks around the personal detail, nationality, contact, academic, everything which you are doing currently. It's just a digital format. And if you have uploaded that for one student, any application is more like tick, 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 tick. So you just fill in those information. It also asks you for the specific document, and the ones which are in red are important, required for put starting this application. The rest ones, which is more around like can be added at a later stage once the application is in, right? So once you complete this form and hit this submit, that's where the application is received by our team and they start working on it. You can always come back to applications and see that what's really happening around my submitted applications. But in order to move an application from in progress to submit, you need to fill in the form which I was showing you here. Yeah. I'll just take a pause before I move to the next section. Like any questions till now around discovery and application?
No questions as of now.
Okay, thank you, Grant. Right. The other interesting thing that we have launched for you is document. So I am right now in Tayyab only, right? So everything which is happening is for this student. If you click on this document, it shows you all the document that you have maintained for Tayyab, right? So you need not maintain your documents on any drive, on offline version of your desktop, and then kind of like have a challenge maintaining different version of it. As soon as you upload your document to an application, they start appearing in this main documents page, which you can download. You can maybe give this section to students that, hey, upload all these documents, and then only we can start putting in your application. So this is again one section which is quite useful. Now, what really happens after this? So I'll just do a recap. You got an access to this platform. You logged in, you added the team, they logged in, they started adding the student. As a student, they looked at different university, identified the courses which they want to apply, maybe created a long list, short list. Then from those long list, short list, they added a applying list. In that applying list, you open up the application, submit an application, right? This is the stages that we have covered till now. The next thing that you would want to do is that, hey, I've put my application. What is really happening on that application? Has this moved forward? Have you submitted that application to university? Has my application received an offer? Is this a conditional offer? What kind of documents is required? What is the timeline that we can look for? So for answering all those questions, you just need to exit the student and come back to your view, right? There's a section called manage applications, and this is basically your summary page. Each row here in this applications section is a unique application, right? I have filtered this section by the student name Tayyab. I can again filter it by email if there are multiple Tayyab here, right? I see that this student has applied to University of Technology, Sydney. in the program Bachelor of Animation. So you can easily see student name, university name, what is the program to which they have applied when you have submitted the application, and what is the status, right? This is all real time. So I can see that one application for Tayyab, which is for Monash, is right now in the processing stage. And the other one is a close lost. That is, this offer, the student didn't receive any offer from the university. So the status and sub status is going to tell you that what is the reason why your application is stuck, is moving, what happened to this application. Everything can be built out from here. Now, one of the things which we have observed that you do with our team is like there is a close group channel, and then you share different documents. Our team asks for certain documents from you. Maybe there is a query which needs to be resolved. And all of those queries are primarily centered around some application. So when you want to ask, you type that, okay, this query is regarding Rajat Khanna who applied to Monash University BBA program, January or February intake. So you start with that pretext and then you put in your query and then our team responds to it. In order to streamline, what we have done here is given you a simple comment section. So when you click on this comments, we know that you are asking around this application and any kind of communication that happened for this application remain here. So for example, you've shared some document and the photos are not clear. We come back and say that, can you share another copy of passport? It's not clear. Or we need students IT, like the parents ITR or the sponsorship information. So rather than sharing that over a WhatsApp or an email, our team drops in a comment in their CRM. From that CRM, you'll start seeing those comment up here. Similarly, you put in a comment or a query that, hey, what, why this application is not moving? It's been 2 days. What can you explain, like what you need from my end? Or maybe like this is the document that you need to upload. Any kind of comms or document sharing can happen via this section, which is called comments. So you can attach a document. If we receive an offer from the university, we attach an offer here with the basic conditions if there are any. And then you can kind of build on it. You can see in time, like, okay, when this application started, when this communication happened, what all has happened throughout this period, everything resides in here. So again, a very powerful section that should be used is the comments, right? So you can see all your application here, track status. We can view the comments up from here. Then under more, these are two sections which we briefly touched that if you want to access career, under more, just hit careers and you will see all the careers on the platform. There are 600 plus careers. Discovery Center is the page where we have the videos, articles, and guides. So you can go here. There are more than 400 plus articles and videos that we have created, right? And this is something which is global. So it's not just catering to Australian market, but something which is global. So you can maybe use these resources. And this is very, very student centric. So if you want to share with student, maybe take a cue from here, use this section. Now, two last part before we actually can say that we have covered this platform is the first thing that you see on the top is what we call as a global search. So as you start using this platform and you want a particular thing to be accessed, you can use this global search. For example, tell me everything that you know around Monash, right? You simply put Monash. So we say that, okay, there's a Monash University and a Monash College. And then there are two videos which is for Monash. So when you click on see all result, it shows you everything that we have in this platform for Monash. That why choose Monash University, explore Monash Clayton campus. This is a video that comes in. Suppose you want to go to a particular student, the same student, the year, right? I search for the student, and then it shows that okay, there are four students, and for example, you want to go to this one, the up Kaaiser student one. You can just click on it and immediately land here. So one thing is a conventional that you go to a student page, you search for a student, and you click on the student name, and then you come here. The next is a bit faster that we have built a global search for you. So you search for a student, you search for a university, right? And when you click on it, you directly go into the same view. So whichever works for you. If I search for Sydney, right? So it says that, okay, there is a study guide for Sydney. There are 3, 4 videos, which is there for Sydney. There's a profile for Uni Sydney. You say that, okay, show me Uni Sydney, and you directly go here. So you see for Uni Sydney, we've got some couple of videos that you can explore. So it's this feature is very handy. Once you start using this platform, it saves you a lot of time that you don't have to go inside section, search for something and go inside. That's why we call it as a global search. The last piece is how AI can help you. So it's a bot which sits inside the platform, and this is something that we have trained internally on all the university data that you see here, right? And then it can be very conversational. You all know how, like, GPT, Gemini, how you day in, day out use that. This is a bit more like curated towards the college admission. So maybe you want to compare two courses, you want to understand a bit more around a university. A student has a very specific questions around placements. You can use this bot for that. The only thing which we won't recommend you use this bot for is the fees and the deadline. Any information which is more of a real time and that gets changed every 6 months or a year, we don't want you to use this bot for answering those, because the information bytes which this bot might be referring could be outdated and you might get a conflict. So for those sections specifically, go inside the university profile, but otherwise you can use it for any kind of comms. For example, the first one, which is, I hear data consultant as a role, and then there's a AI specialist as a role. Should I, is, like, there are difference between them? So it tells that, okay, hello Rajat, because I've logged in as Rajat, and then it kind of differentiate between the key skills. And then there are a lot of leading questions that come in that, okay, I want to do this. AI, are there any certification that I can do? Then it also tells you that, okay, which universities that you can apply to for these courses. So some part of your initial discovery is something that you can do here. For example, if you want to do a comparison, some beginner friendly AI courses for the high school student that you can do. So any kind of enhancement in your current counseling experience, you can really leverage this flow platform, right? And maybe if you want to type, you can type it. If you want to speak, you can just speak here, and then it understand, creates a transcript, and then runs your query on it. Okay, I think this covers everything. So you all must have received an access to this platform, or we will be sharing it soon with you so that you can log into this platform. This was one of the first trainings that we wanted you to show and introduce this platform, the key things that you can do, how powerful this platform is. But like, once you start using, and you face any challenge around a particular section, in order, like, overall usability of the platform, any kind of things that you think can be built into the platform and kind of improve your experience, we are all ears. We'll help you out with. But yeah, I think this covers everything. And, like, thank you everyone for joining and sharing your thoughts, being patient for going through it. So that's all from my end. Passing to Karan.
Thank you, Raja. Just to add on to it, right? One of the key things which we think which we have done on this platform is that we hope to eliminate email and WhatsApp communication, call communication on updates on the application or the status of the application or status of offers, anything related to the application. What we would assume now is going forward, you would not be sending in emails with applications to be punched to Kaaiser through your coordinators and your agent success partners. Please use this platform to punch in all your applications. Similarly, if you need any update on any application, please feel free to send a comment on this. Our team here receives a notification whenever the comment comes in from one of our partners, and we respond to it as soon as it is practically feasible. And similarly, when we respond or when we send in a requirement or when we send in a pending update, you would also receive a notification email. Both your counselors and the admins will receive a notification email. So this will help us, both of us, keep track of all the open applications and on hold applications. One more thing which we have done is we have created this application form which encompasses almost all the questions which you would need to submit applications across all the universities in Australia. So once you submit in the first application of a student, you complete the profile, complete the question bank, and submit it to Kaaiser. the same answers gets pre-filled for all the subsequent applications. So you don't need to do that twice. Plus, you don't need to fill in any non-mandatory university forms like admission questionnaire, student evaluation forms. Many other universities do not require us to submit manually filled application forms anymore. We just have to fill it up directly on StudyLink. So for those universities, we don't require you to now submit those application forms going forward. So we'll share a separate list of mandatory application forms for certain universities. For example, the University of Melbourne requires the SSVF form to be submitted to them manually filled. So those forms will still be required, but any other university, for example, University of Sydney does not require us to submit the application forms. So we will not ask you to give those application forms and submit it to us. So this we think will also help us save some time by not asking the student or by your staff to fill up those information and then submit it to us when we are not going to use that and submit it to the university. So please keep these in mind. We will share all these details again in a subsequent email along with the recording of this webinar so that you are able to share it with your team, and then hopefully all of this will help us process applications and submit applications to the universities much faster. I'll just pause here for 2 minutes to see if there are any pending questions. Please feel free to share your Q&A questions and we will try to answer them. Yes, so I can see some questions on recording. So yes, we have recorded the entire session. So we will share the recording later today or by tomorrow, along with the Q&A for the frequently asked questions, the mandatory university forms, the Dropbox links for all the application forms, so that you have the complete information package available with you. And when you start using this platform from tomorrow or from today. Okay, I don't see any more questions. So, can I get 1 day prior confirmation for student interviews? Yes, Riven, yes, you can get 1 day prior confirmation. If the university has informed us, we will inform you as soon as we get the information from the university and send you a notification on this flow here. And if that is 1 week or 1 day prior, it depends on the university, but we'll try and get that as soon as possible. Yep. Okay, cool. So I don't see any more questions. So we'll wrap up this session then. Thank you so much again for joining us, and hope that helps. Hope this session helps you in using this platform to and process applications much faster. Thank you.